Anyway, we are going to lift, for one instance, my ban on audio sound bites from MSNBC. Something occurred there that dovetails nicely with the theme of the program today. And so I instructed Cookie to get me the bite. And she was just ecstatic. She loves it when I lift the ban on MSNBC. Sit tight, back. Now let's get started with all of this that's happening in the Republican campaign. Trump, Cruz, the Palin endorsement, the exploration of so many questions that revolve around how can any of this be happening? How can conservatives abandon conservatism and go Trump? How can conservatives abandon the Republican Party and go for somebody who's obviously not a conservative, or at least isn't campaigning as one? Why is Sarah Palin, who is, she had a direct role in helping Cruz get elected in Texas, and she was a Tea Party darling and a Tea Party fit. What in the world is she doing endorsing Trump? People are scratching their heads, can't figure it out. And they're trying to, well, maybe this, what's in it for her personally? Maybe she just wants airtime. Maybe she's seeking renewed celebrity status or what have you. None of that is even close to what's going on. What's going on is all rooted in what I have been talking about the past 2 days, about the nature of conservatism, the so-called conservative movement. Who are they? Where are they in relationship to the Republican Party and the Democrat Party? And I want to start with this sound bite that I am lifting the ban on MSNBC for you to hear. It happened last night on a program called All In with Chris Hayes. I'm so tempted to describe the aesthetics of this show, but I'm going to avoid that. I'll just stick here with the substance. Also on this show, in this segment last night, was one of the PMS NBC correspondents, Joy Reid, and a Republican operative by the name of Rick Wilson. He's a Republican media consultant, and he would qualify as being part of the Republican establishment with the Republican consultants class. And he was on to explain what in the name of Sam Hill is going on with this endorsement of Trump. So we've divided this into two parts because the first part dovetails with a point that I want to make beyond the soundbite here, and the second part is Rick Wilson. So here is the first part of the segment. It's not in response to any question. They're simply talking about what they consider to be the breakup and the fracturing of the conservative alliance with the GOP. Now, I am mentioned here, but this is not why I'm playing the bite.
For decades, you've had Rush Limbaugh and this sort of conservative entertainment complex holding together these various wings of the party as if there was a core belief in a set of specific conservative values among the base. When it turns out what the base wants is a feeling that can be delivered by Rush, but some policies that are an apostasy to movement conservatives.
Okay, now, it's not just me who have seen a couple of things this week written by people talking about overestimating the conservative base. I mean, this is beginning to percolate in a lot of places. And what Joy Reid is saying, she says, for decades, you've had Rush Limbaugh in this sort of conservative entertainment complex holding together the various wings of the Republican Party as if there was a core belief in a set of specific conservative values among the base. And she says it turns out that there isn't a set of values, conservative values, that are the glue that keep the conservative base together. She's saying Limbaugh has been the glue. Limbaugh has been what has kept everybody on board with the idea that the Republican Party is conservative, or that there is a conservative movement. but that there really haven't been policies that have provided the glue. There haven't been conservative beliefs, particularly not found in the Republican Party. That's why so many conservatives are abandoning it and going to Trump. So her view is, and they would love to believe this, that there never has been any serious conservative movement. It's all been an illusion created by me, that I and the power of this program have kept the various, as she calls them, wings of the conservative base attached and together. But now all it's taken is somebody like Trump to come along. And what's happening is that a lot of people who were thought to be conservative really aren't, and they're still eagerly supporting Trump for a whole host of reasons, but in their view, this means there never was a real, solid, conservative movement. It's been an illusion. And furthermore, let me just give you one more little tip as we head into this. The belief now is, and I predict you're going to start seeing this in places, one of the theories is that the reason the conservative media and the Republican establishment media are so virulently anti-Trump is because what he's exposing. It's the theory that all these conservative think tanks and all these conservative policy institutions and all of these groups of people have been sitting around thinking and coming up with policy in Washington, D.C. are being exposed as irrelevant, unnecessary, and never accomplished anything in the first place. That's what the left is trying to use Trump's success to say. Because their theory is, how in the world, if there's a conservative movement, and if it really mattered, and if there was a conservative movement that was really centered on and based on substantive issues, then how in the hell can Donald Trump come along and do what he's doing anyway? If there's a solid set of conservative values, and if there's a huge conservative base, and if it is based on policy and substance, then why isn't it all aligned behind Ted Cruz? And it's the answer to that question that I find fascinating. Now, but that's not the reason I wanted to play the bite. Nope. You got to hear this Republican establishment guy. You got to hear this whole thing. You've got a Rick Wilson, Republican establishment consultant.